We'll be moving to our next session now, which is the session on drafting a winning personal statement. And this will be handled by Dr. Nike Opejin. If we have her, please, you have the floor.
Again, thanks for having me. This is a great opportunity to share experiences and to help people coming by not to make similar mistakes that you've made in the past, or even to do better, because like someone on the last panel had said about things are evolving. Yes, I'm sure that the SOP I wrote some 10 years ago, if I read it today, I will not be thrilled with myself and it may not be competitive. So things are changing. The world has become smarter. We're in the world of AI. You just need to be smart. Actually, at ASU, we do have a course where we teach you how to use AI, because we know the pitfall of AI is that people just go in, they ask questions and copy stuff and just send it over to you like you're a dummy. And I've seen, even in my current job, we've asked graduates to write a personal statement about themselves, and we've have generic, the same kind of similar. You'll see the paragraphs in there, just similar. You know that this is Chat GPT or whatever AI they're using. So you need to be cautious about it. Yes, we're in the world of all this, the world information is at our fingertips. We can Google stuff and do all that stuff. But I still want to see a personal, um, I want to feel your personality in your SOP. I want to be able to see you in your SOP. And so don't just base, I've sent my SOP to people that, I'm mentoring to come. They want to come to the US, they want to apply, and I've sent my SOP as sample. And when I receive it back from them, it's almost like reading my SOP, and that doesn't that doesn't help anybody, because the admission committee that you're submitting to, they have a lot of SOPs to read. They have a lot, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of SOP. And we don't just write SOP for admission's sake, actually. We do write it for, even this national interest waiver that I mentioned is all personal statements that we write to like support who you are, what you're doing, what you're planning to do, all those kind of things. And you are competing with international audience, if I must tell you that. You're competing with people that had background in the US. They probably had their undergrad in the US, or they're even citizens, because all citizens, everybody go through the same process you go through, apart from TOEFL. But every process is just the same. Everybody is given a platform to express themselves. And then when you're looking at SOP, sometimes we are making a decision about funding, which student to fund at that point. And so making sure that your SOP stand out and, stand out in such a way that I pick your SOP and I read it and I'm like, wow. And I'll tell you that I had a student, she's now a PhD student in New Jersey. I forgot what's the name of her university now. She worked with me for about 2 years, and she came to my house this year. That will be the first time I'm seeing her face to face. I never met her. Someone just brought her to me and said, "Hey, this is a smart student. Can you help Panike?" And I told them, I said, "Well, it depends. Smartness is is relative." And so I said, yeah, I'm willing to help. And the first task I gave to her is write me your SOP. And I didn't give her a sample. Well, I read that SOP she sent to me, and that was it. That caught me. I'm like, okay, yeah. If you are in Nigeria and you write this SOP at the first round, and that's not even in the world of AI or something. I'm like, yeah, you're ready. You can do this. So you need to make sure that you stand out in what you do. And I'll tell you, before I go into like some of the tips I want to share with you. I will just tell you a story of my first SOP when I worked with Education USA in Lagos. When I was in my admission process, and I'd written my first SOP, and I sent it to we call her Mrs. Hay. She read it and she said, "Nika, you have to come to my office." I said, "Okay." I went to Mrs. Hay's office and she looked at me and she said, "Did you say you finished with first class from OAU?" I said, "Yes, ma." She said, "Ah, and you wrote this terrible SOP? Like, really?" So you're not alone. You're not, even if you have a first class or whatever class it's out there that you have, um, your first SOP, someone might criticize it a lot. And so be ready to receive feedback and get better at it. That's is the most important thing. When I read people's SOP and it's very easy to take a red pen to something. So when I take red pen to essays like that and all that, my mind, I always feel like, okay, because in the US we are trained, I teach in a university, we are trained not to go with a red pen 100% into a student's work. It's more Nigerian thing to do. But because I want you to get better, I'll probably take a red pen at it and you will not like it when you say it. So it's not about you, it's just because I want you to improve and get better at it. So when you receive feedback like that, don't be depressed about it. Don't feel like, oh my God, I can't even write this stuff. I need to pay someone. I've seen people that pay people to write it. Well, good luck if you pay someone, because then you have to pay people to write your papers when you come here. A lot of papers that you have to do, time papers and all that stuff. So it's better you start learning that art. It's okay to seek help. And during our time, we were using editor. I have a paid editor that I send my work to, will edit all my work. But today you don't even need that. Just write that stuff and put it in. I will tell you how to use ChatGPT to make it very personal, give it prompts. And when it's spit it out, make sure you refine it and say, this is what I want you to do to this SOP. It's going to spit it out. Keep doing those iterations. You'll get to a point where it becomes more unique than just generic. So the first thing I will say, Elizabeth, how much time do I have?
You have up until 2.
Okay, so about 15 minutes.
Yeah, yes, but let me also confirm from team if they have more time. But for now, up until 2.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That would be perfect. I think I should be able to finish by then and take any question if anybody has any questions. So I'll start by saying that when you're writing your SOP, when you start in that SOP, you start with a hook. I want to read that first sentence and be hooked to it. I'll tell you what my hook was. I told a story of how I was raised by a single mother and how she never had any education. And she believed that with education, I can become whoever I want to be. So that's a hook. For me as a woman, if I'm reviewing somebody's essay and I read that, you've caught my attention. Like, yeah, I want to read more about this person. So it can be, it might be anecdotes, like I said, a story in your past that you want to share. Don't go into details, just say as a girl or as a boy that grew up in a slum of Lagos or something like that. Or even a quote. It can be like a quote from somebody, but be careful of the quotes you use and be careful of, the interpretation of those quotes. Or, or even a thought-provoking statement that grabs people's attention. That's what your first line should be. I am so. This is not a narration about yourself. This is personal statement. So I want you to, the first opening should be something captivating for whoever opens your SOP to read it. And then you state your purpose. What is the purpose? You have to have a clear intention, clear interest in specific program or opportunity you're applying for. I'm interested in applying for, sustainability, a PhD in sustainability because, back up that statements with very strong arguments why you're interested in that program. So you have to state a purpose, like you have to have a purpose for applying. I know that many people just, I've seen people that say that, I just need to leave Nigeria. yes, we know you need to leave Nigeria. That's a very good purpose, right? But to someone reading your SOP that also has about 1,000 SOP to read, I will just throw you aside because, like, this guy is just trying to use us as a ladder to get to where it's going to. So, you need to be careful of what purpose. I've told people that what you state in your SOP does not necessarily mean that is what you're going to do. And we write research statement that changes all the time. So it doesn't mean you are locked into what you wrote there. Just write something captivating to give you a leg in. Um, then talk about your education history, just highlights of relevance, achievements. I don't want to see everything that is already in your CV. Your CV, your resume probably have where you finished from, yeah, where you did. I know I've seen people's resume. Again, I'm not talking about resume here, but I just want to caution you, please don't put secondary school certificate leaving. Do not put it on your resume. I don't care about that. So please don't put that on your resume. If you're a graduate student, if you're an undergrad, maybe that makes sense. But if you're an undergrad, please, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a list of references. Who cares about that? When I need a reference, I'll reach out to you. So highlight the things that are most important, the things that, the achievements. Like, for instance, I'll probably tell someone I graduated from, this school on top of my class with a first class, which, I probably talk about some award I received based on that performance. So now I'm telling you, I'm not just an ordinary average student. I am a student that stand out in my academic achievement, and this is what it has made me achieve. I got all these awards. So I'm highlighting that. I'm not necessarily going through the list of schools. I went to Yaba Tech, Yaba College of Technology, or whatever it's called now. I went to days and days and days and days. I'm not interested in that. I just want to see the highlight because you probably have all those information in your CV already. And so your professional experience, so I want to see what your professional experience looks like. I want you to describe relevant work experience or projects that is useful, that will make me know you have transferable skills um, from what you did in the past to what you're going to be doing now. So I want to see that professional experience, not going into detail of I worked in Access Bank, Nigeria Limited, whatever that is called, for 8 years, and then no, I don't want to. I don't want to see like where, like I said, all those information are probably on your CV, your resume. So we don't. I don't want to see it. I just want you to tell me, that work experience, the professional experience that that is going to transfer. Like as an undergraduate student, when I was in my college, as an undergraduate student, I worked under a professor to collect data for a study by USAID. So someone is looking at me and like, okay, she has some research experience. Okay, so she's not gonna be a bad master student. She's not gonna be a bad PhD student. We're not gonna teach her what research means from the scratch. She probably has some of those skills already. Data collection, data analysis, those kind of things will come off. You will hear me talk more about academic experience because that's been my world. Although it's constantly changing, it's changed after you get to a certain age, you probably want to change trajectory. But anyways, so let's just align that with what we're talking about. And then motivation. I want to know why you chose the program. Why is this program? I've seen people mention a lot of generic reason why they chose this program. Oh, because this program gives full funding to students, and really, no, don't say that. Go into the program website. Go and look at what stand them out. What do they do? Do they have internship opportunity? What's their professorial mix, mix like? What are the achievements of some of the students that have been in their program? What kind of research are their professors conducting? There's so many things that stand every school out. There's so many things that stand. If, for instance, if I want to apply to, let's say I'm reapplying to ASU for sustainability, I'll say that sustainability at ASU have been ranked the number one in the country, in the United States, with diverse faculty members doing several research on climate change, on environmental studies, on these and that. I'm making it personal. So this person really knows that this person have done their homework. They're not just someone that's heard about a school and just drafting SOP without even looking at the website of the school. So you have to put that motivation. I want to see how that motivation. Now, not just the motivation, not just why the program. I also want to see you align your goal with why this program. You've talked about why this program. How does your goal, your future goal, whatever you have, you're anticipating to achieve, how does it align with this? With the goal of the with the uniqueness of the program. So you need to identify that. Also, you need to talk about relevant skills that you have. Some of the skills that you have, which could be from work related or even trainings that you've taken, some of the achievements. I always tell people that is in Nigeria that we're very humble when we're talking about ourselves, how or what we've done in the past. And I learned that very quickly because I will talk about my research and I'll just brush over it like it's easy. My professor will call me back to the office and say, Nike, we don't say that. You have to make people know that it's easy to you because you're very diligent and very hardworking and very smart. It's not that easy. People know what you went through to achieve that. So I call it sales. Like one of the panelists in the other the last panel we had talked about. You have to be able to sell yourself. So don't be conservative. Don't be conservative. I know we're trained to be conservative. Don't talk about your achievement. Don't talk about this. No, when you're writing your SOP, I want to see that. Oh, I want to see that you're an accomplished athlete. I want to see that you received 3 awards as an undergraduate student. I want to see that. I want you to what stands you out as a person. You know, Elizabeth, you're telling me all this academic achievement, but then you went in and you say, I won the fashion parade or, the pageants, that's something that is unique. Like really, oh, she's beautiful. She has brain in her head, that will stand you out. So I want you to talk about those little things that you think, oh, they don't matter. Oh, I played soccer on my school team and we won one tournament like that. It doesn't matter. That's not an achievement to talk about. We call it sales here. And my son would come home to tell me, Mom, I drew something in class today. It was super good. You need to say it. I'm a good artist. I'm like, yeah, you are. So that's what we are trained to do. That's how their children are trained. So you are competing with their children while they'll come and sell themselves on a artwork that doesn't make any sense. But they are telling you they are the best artists. Yes, they are. So you need to sell yourself too. And then talk about your future goals. I've seen you need to talk about your short term and your long term goals. What are those goals that you have? I had my students in New Jersey that I told you about. She had written that she's applying for PhD in environmental science, I think, and she was talking about a long term goal of starting NGO. That almost got her into trouble because when she did interview, one of the panelists, one of the interview has asked her, okay, you want to do PhD in environmental science and you want to run NGO, that's your long-term goal, then you shouldn't be in the program. You should go get some certificates course or a master's course that will because the truth is that it's not all jobs or things like that need PhD. Yeah, that may be the goal for you. That may be what you want to eventually do. But please don't write those kind of goals in your SOP. Don't write a goal that my goal is to become a self-made entrepreneur. Those kind of things that I'm like, okay, but you don't need a degree to be a self-made entrepreneur. Do you know that? So why should I waste a spot in the program for you, knowing that you just want to be an entrepreneur? So be careful of what your goal is, your long-term goal, your short-term goal. And I tell people that what you're going to do, Yoruba adage has something and say the name will give to a child lives in our belly.
I'm good.
Today,
Much better. Much better.
Okay, I think there is an interference coming in. Am I still okay?
You're still on. I think the person was maybe trying to chime into that proverb, but you can please go on.
Okay. So yeah, so I'll say that just today, I look at my friends, including, Ori, and I'll say, I feel like quitting my job this year. But I know my professors will be so sad to know that I wasted just number of years to get that skill and that training, and I never did anything with it. Because the truth is that what brings money to my table is not the 9 to 5 job that I do. So does that mean that I have to tell everybody in school that this is my goal? No. Eventually I want to be a business entrepreneur. I want to do business and all that. Yes, good luck to you on that. But when you want to get into a program, you have to humbly state your goal to align with the program. Like one of the goals I stated is I want to work with United Nations, all these World Bank, United Nations on environmental sustainability issues in Africa and all that. You will read that and you'll be like, oh yeah, this is good. This is the future of Africa, which I still want to do. Don't get me wrong. But you know, but so that's what I'm talking about when I talk about, your short-term and your long-term goal. And then talking about your contribution, you have to explain how you will contribute to the program. So the program, I want to have students in my program that can contribute to my program. I talked about diversity. I'm like, I'm a Black person. I feel like coming into the program will make the program more diverse and all that. I know one person had asked a question, Elizabeth, you had asked a question about racism and all that stuff. And my answer to you will be, do I even say it? I know it exists, but I don't pay attention to it because I don't care. You're just a noise. And when you come from Nigeria, I'll tell you we have thicker skin, and you can get under my skin with racist word or something like that. I don't care what you say. Even in the church that we went to when we were master students, someone had looked at us in church and say, how come you guys are getting scholarship to come from Nigeria and our students, and our kids have to go get student loan? And my friend who is, very sharp mouth, told them that, well, tell your kids to compete with us on the scholarship. This is not indigent. This is merit-based scholarship. This is church. We go to the same church. So you're going to have all those things, but I want to see what you contribute to the program. I'm bringing diversity. I'm bringing a new voice. I'm bringing, experience from Africa to your class. Because if the world we are living in a global world, and so anything that happens in Africa will affect Europe, will affect North America and all these places. And so I'm bringing that perspective to help us have a holistic view of the world. So that tells me, okay, yeah, she'll be a good contribution to my class. And then in conclusion, I want you to talk about, reinforcing your interest. You have to tell them, they're very passionate about applying for this program, and the future work that you're going to be doing is going to, align well with the program that you're applying for. And I want you to end your SOP on a positive note. Express gratitude, talk about gratitude if given the opportunity, and that you have confidence that the program is going to contribute to your goal in life and your achievement, and you will succeed in the program. So again, I've talked about different things. I'll just cap it up by saying, make sure that your SOP is personalized to you. There's clarity and coherence. You have to make sure there's clarity, there's coherence. Make sure you review and edit. And let me tell you something about review. Don't just review your SOP by yourself and send it in. Please do not do that. Don't do that. Don't just review it by yourself. Send it to people to review for you. Send it to, that's space now when people send SOP to me. I have students that I've groomed that I'll send you SOPs to. I will not review it myself. They will review it, I'll read the comments, and I'll be like, oh yeah, you got it. So get people to review your SOP. Don't just send it to schools. And now you can even use this crazy AI world that we're in. You can use those things to edit your work. You can copy the old stuff you wrote. So my advice is, first go in, don't look at AI, don't look at the website. I mean, you look at the website for information. Don't look at information from online yet. Right, just spill out. I'm a boy that grew up in Makoko, Nigeria, and how does this. Spill out those information. Go to ChatGPT and say, based on these, these that I'm gonna give to you, I want you to write a compelling SOP, put in personal touch, and then in quotes, put in that first write-up that you have. Once you spill it, let it give it back to you. Then you say, write this, yes. Then you go in there and say, write this professionally and put what is spilled for you and pull it in there. And then you go in and say, make sure that this SOP is personalized to me as someone that wants to do this, and this. And you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked at, how personal your SOP will become. So I'll say that, in conclusion, I'll say that the world has, there is evolvement in technology that has made things easier than when we did it. But I don't want you to misuse it. I don't want you to use the opportunity in a way that someone will see your essay and they will just throw it apart and say, this is ChatGPT. I want you to put personal touch to it. And yeah, and I'll be happy to, well, not personally review your personal statement. I'll send it to my student that do reviews and all that stuff. So yeah, that's it for what I have to share, and I'm happy to take your questions if there is any.
Thank you for that very insightful session. I've learned a lot. I've just been writing a lot of things now. I know what not to put in my own personal statement if I have to write a personal statement. Even as the host, I've been learning from this. I know that I'll not go and tell them that when I'm applying for something in climate change, I'll not now say that I want to do something completely abstract. So thank you very much for sharing that with us today. Let's see if we have questions for you, because I'm sure there should be loads of questions, and then if they're not dropping it here, I'm sure that they'll probably want to reach out later through Orbit Studio. I'm very sure about that. So, but this was really insightful, and thank you for sharing. I understand that at the end of the day, you have to reinforce your passion, express, and when you're ending, in between, you talked about taking highlighting key achievements, relevant experiences, talking about awards and future goals and all of that, reinforcing your passion. You end by reinforcing your passion and expressing gratitude, and ending on a very personal note, ensuring that the SOP is very personalized, especially in this era of AI and all of that, because I think lots of time we make mistakes. AI has made things easier, but then it's like people just outsource everything to them. You don't even try to put your personal touch in it. But that's something you really touched on, and you've even given us the skills on how to make use of AI. I think that if we're paying for this, we'll be paying a premium. So thank you very much for your time today. I don't think that anyone has dropped any questions. I think that they'll probably drop it later. I don't know how much time you have to spend with us, but I know you have to go as well. So we'll probably refer to you back with the questions, and then we will take it up from there. But thank you so much, Dr. Nike, for your time. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the day. And I hope that you keep making impact in your field and in your career, and just keep making the world a better place. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.